I'm Donnie Wirtshafter. I live in Ohio. I started Ohio Hempery in 1990. Why did I do that? Because Jack Carrere inspired me. I was one of Jack's first converts, and I've been at it full time ever since. And I walked into Hempstalk this evening, and the first thing I see is Jack having his heart attack or his stroke or whatever it is that we just had. And I tell you, it was a shock to my system. It's difficult to speak to you tonight. It's difficult to be around right now. I first met Jack in 1990 when he came. This is about when Jack started to hit the road. We had a Just Say No rally in honor of Nancy Reagan at KNOW. And Jack came to Athens, Ohio. And everybody talked him around to meet me because I was the dope attorney at the time. And Jack spent the evening giving us his rap. And I've never been the same. And I think we have to recognize that none of this would be here without Jack. Without Jack hitting the road in the early 1990s when we had our hemp tour and we had, what was it called? We had a hemp bus going around. And we went college campus to college campus, year after year. Jack, every weekend traveling somewhere. Jack's been a road warrior for 20 years for this thing. He's become a road animal to get from one venue to another every weekend. Every weekend. Carry the books, set up the table, set up the speaking thing, doing the whole thing, signing books for hours on end. It wasn't always as easy for Jack. He didn't always have so much help. There was a time people didn't know who he was. But he just kept going from college campus to college campus, trying to raise the image of hemp. And it worked. By 1995, everybody knew what hemp was. Everybody who knew who Jack Carrere was. And then they named a variety after him. More people know about the variety than they know about Jack. Right? So, you know, we have to recognize that none of us would be here without Jack. Jack started this thing. Jack knew he wasn't feeling well. Jack's wife begged with him not to come up here this weekend. But Jack is the road animal. Jack goes somewhere every weekend. Jack had to come to Oregon. Now, some of you might remember 8, 9, 10 years ago when Jack had another stroke. Same thing. He was down at Condi's. We were having a World Hemp Expo. He gave a rousing speech on stage. He walks off backstage and promptly has a stroke. The same thing happened here tonight. Most of you were spared having to see this. It was not pretty. I'm really glad that we had so many good EMTs here in the crowd. People without the right equipment, but who knew what to do to take care of Jack. And people kept working on Jack and working on Jack and, you know, pushing on his chest 15 times and breathing in his mouth once and pushing on his chest. And they kept him alive for probably 20 minutes till the EMTs came with the oxygen and with the electroshocks and with the IVs and all that stuff. I'm happy to report I kept a pretty good eye on it. I'm happy to report that they were able to stabilize Jack. He was breathing on his own when they took him out of here. All right? I really fear for him, though, because this was either a fairly massive stroke or a fairly massive heart attack. He was a hurting puppy when they carried him out of here, okay? So I think we all, you know, the organizers of the show had to think, oh my God, can we go on? Isn't it the right thing for us to do to shut down the event tonight in memory of Jack, or, you know, and all that? And then they thought about what would Jack do, right? The show must go on, right? And I'm really looking forward to the music coming up. Please don't leave. This is going to be really special here. All right? You know what I came to talk to you about was DrugSense. DrugSense, MAP, Inc., Drug Policy Central. I get to be chairman of the board of this really great organization composed of volunteers from all over the world. Check out drugsense.org. drugpolicycentral.org. Some of the things we do is we run web services for over 150 drug policy organizations. We run listservs for these organizations. We have a newspaper clipping service pretty much, where we've got almost 200,000 articles archived of drug policy articles over the last 15 years. We encourage letters to the editors with all these different ways that we teach you to do letters to the editor. So get on to mappinc.org, drugsense.org. Check these services out because there's a lot that is there to teach you what we need to do to end this crazy drug war. Jack Herrera would want you to do it, right? So Jack needs to stay in our thoughts. He's really on the edge. He's really in a precarious position right now. And the best we can do, I mean, one of the things was that people backstage were going, come on, Jack. Hey, Jack. Come on, Jack. You know, we weren't going to let that spirit. We weren't going to let that spirit go away from our presence. There were people just sitting backstage just praying for Jack, and it seemed to have worked. We really thought we lost him. He was alive when he left here tonight, all right? So, you know, it's the best we can do, everybody, is just pray, pray, pray for his health and recovery. Thank you very much. I'm Donnie Wirtshafter. Thank you, Portland. Thank you, everybody who puts this incredible event on.